Jayanti Bhai. Let's welcome Jayanti Bhai. Who else is here for the very first time? Your name, please. Nakshatra. Let's welcome Nakshatra to the temple. Anyone else here for the first time? Your name? Kinjal. Let's welcome Kinjal to the temple. Anyone else here for the very first time? So, today we are celebrating a very unique festival. So, if you don't mind, you can come forward a little bit more so that people that come on later on, then they generally don't have a lot of space. So, the mantra that I'm about to sing with all of you is, please repeat after me, Jaya. I could not hear you. Sachinandana. Sachinandana. Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandana. Gaura Hari. So it's an easy mantra, right? Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Simply chant this mantra and repeat this mantra again and again, and do it 108 times. You will notice from deep within yourself this emotion of hope that comes from the divine will start to show up. It will be like the moon rising on a full moon night. Together. Jaya Sachi Nandana Gaura Hari. Everyone. Jaya Sachi Nandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachi Nandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachi Gaura Hari. So Prabhupada ki come close a little bit more. Mukham karoti vachalam pangulam vayate girim yatripātamaham vande Shri Guru Namatārinam Paramanandamarinam Shri Chaitanya. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasada Shri Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we will be celebrating this Mango Festival. Who here has never heard the word mango in your life before? Raise your hand. Who has heard of mangoes? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, everybody knows. So I just want to let you know, this mango is has a very deep spiritual significance. It is there during Krishna Lila. It is there during Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So today we're going to have thousands of mangoes offered to their lordships. Everything is going to be decorated with mangoes. So I just want to give you some mango statistics before we begin. In 2024, 26.3 billion kgs of mangoes. Imagine that. Just in India was produced. And 61.4 million tons of mangoes are produced worldwide. This is called the king of fruits. It's primarily in Asia, 76%, and then about 12% in South America and another 12% in Africa. So this mango is called the king of fruits, and that's why it's considered to be one of the most popular fruits that is consumed worldwide. It says 2.4 billion people in the world consume mangoes annually. And why are we talking about mangoes? That's the big significance of today. And why is it that we're celebrating a mango festival? Where does this concept come from? And the deep significance of this. So, there is a very beautiful Vedic wisdom text called Ujjvala Nilamani there's a beautiful verse that explains the season where the mangoes grow. It says, Vasanta Kusuma Karabhirama, which means that in the season of spring, everything starts to blossom. It's the beginning of life, it's the beginning of celebration. It's where all big things in the world happen. They call the millennials, the Gen Zs, and Gen X, and some other generations are coming. So, this spring season is when the mango starts to flower. What other things happen in the spring season? Can anyone share? Tell me. Throw something at me. What happens in the spring season? Spring means youth. What do you feel? You feel excited, you feel energetic, you feel more romantic. In India, in the season of Vasanta Ritu, everybody is so romantic, wearing colorful clothes, colorful jewelry, everything is blossoming. What else is happening? Holi, anything else? What happens in spring? Come on guys, help me out.
Mahaprabhu's appearance.
Mahaprabhus. Do you feel more excited and energetic during the spring? Everything lights up your mood because all the trees are blossoming. What else happens?
Vasanta Panchami.
Vasanta Panchami, yes, big beautiful festival. What else happens? What do you feel? What do you see in the spring season? What does it represent? What does it mean to you? Happy mood. Yes, because everything around you is growing. There's something that is happening that was dormant. Another beautiful thing happens in the spring season is that you'll notice your heart will naturally start to disarm. If you observe, you'll notice very carefully, you feel very romantic. You start to become more vulnerable. So there is so many aspects to the spring season. What other things happen? Spring means youthfulness. What happens with youthfulness? You're free. Don't they have like, in America they have spring parties or something like that? They go for the spring somewhere and they celebrate freedom. All this is happening in the spring. Another important principle of spring or youthfulness is to take that time of spring, Vasanta, the season of Vasanta, to really, really come back to the youthful celebration of our spiritual life.
Krishna is Vasantaras.
Krishna is Vasantaras, is one of the rasas, yes. So spring season means youthfulness, energy, there is growth, and you will also notice that in this season, your ability to absorb information and knowledge is even more, because everything starts to open up. So at this time, in India, around the world, this mango tree starts to blossom and flowers grow, and this beautiful mango fruit comes to be. And there's so many different varieties of mangoes. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this great saint who was known to be one of the most prolific writers of the bhakti practice and extremely functional in the real world because he was holding the position of a district magistrate in India under the British government. He also happened to have mango trees, because mango is abundant all over India. Everyone in their yards have mango trees. So he had a young son. His name was Vimala Prasad. And this Vimala Prasad, you can see his picture there right behind Srila Prabhupada. When he was only 5 years old, he noticed that the mango fruit was changing shapes and colors. It was growing, changing the color from green to yellow. And the mangoes have a very unique fragrance. When you smell the mango, it actually pulls you in. It draws you closer. In Gujarat, after every meal they eat something called amras, which is the mango puree. It's supposed to help soothe and calm the mood. Whatever you ate, you just eat mango and then everything becomes complete. Otherwise, things are incomplete. So every part of India has different tradition, and the relationship with mangoes are very unique. So in Bengal, in the courtyard of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this little boy, Bimala Prasad, 5 years old, could not resist the temptation, the fragrance and the color, and the mango inviting him. As a 5-year-old, he picked a mango from the tree, and he tasted this mango. And his father simply came to him and he says, "My dear child, everything in this house belongs to Krishna. You must first offer it to God and then honor it." And he immediately recognized the mistake that he has made. That the mango is such a tempting, delicious fruit that he forgot about Krishna, to offer it to Krishna, and he honored it. So as an atonement for eating a mango fruit without offering to Krishna, he took a vow that he will never eat mango again. That's a major vow for a 5-year-old kid. So there are many, many such stories with mangoes. But I want to read to you the story, because we have time. I want to read to you the story from Chaitanya Charitamrita, this incredible wisdom text that if you get your hands on it, you'll never get your hands off of it. It's more delicious and tasty than the mangoes. So I want to share a story with you and together you can read it with me, and it's very beautiful. Very small story, but very sweet. So, ek din prabhu sava bhakta gane lan sankirtana kari vaishya vaishe shrama jutta han. You know what? I think you can just repeat after me from the next verse. One day, the Lord performed Sankirtan with all his devotees, and they were greatly fatigued, so they sat down. So what is Sankirtan? Sankirtan is when everybody gathers together and invests their heart. Sankirtan is an investment of heart. When the mind and the ego dissolves and you are situated in your heart and you glorify the Lord from your heart, that is called Sankirtan. That means there is a union. Sang means union. And union only happens from the level of the heart. Please understand. Sankirtan is not a mental exercise. It is not an intellectual exercise. It is an absorption of the union of hearts that connect with the divine heart. So this is what just happened. And then the devotees were in such spiritual ecstasy, so you need a little break from ecstasy. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, He sat down with the devotees. Please repeat after me. Ek amra bija prabhu angane ropila. Tadkhane janmila vriksha barite lagila. It might be a little too much for all of you. So I'll read the Bengali and I'll read the translation so it'll be easier. The Lord then sowed a mango seed in the yard, and immediately the seed fructified into a tree and began to grow. So it is a tradition. When you meet sages, you must give them something. So one of the devotees, he ate a mango. And what did he do? He didn't have anything to offer. So he offered the seed of the mango to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He noticed that this devotee who ate the mango looked very happy. When you eat a mango, you become very happy. So he took that mango seed and he planted into the front yard of where he was sitting down. And this mango immediately started to grow into a tree. For those of you just out of reference, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is one of the most mystical saints that ever lived. And so he just planted the seed and it turned into a tree. Through his mystical abilities. Dekhite dekhite vriksha na hoila phalita. Pakila anek phal shabai bismita. As people looked on, the tree became fully grown, with fruits that fully ripened. Thus everyone was struck with wonder. Anyone who sees a tree grow that fast, you will be bewildered and you'll be mesmerized, because that is the beauty of nature. Everything nature is beautiful. Everything nature is beautiful, and when we tamper with it, then it loses its beauty. So therefore, the devotees are sitting and watching this tree grow right in front of their eyes. Shatadui fal prabhu shigra padilo. Prakshalana kari Krishne bhoga lagailo. Imagine, he planted the tree and he immediately stood up because the tree was filled with fruits, and with his own hands he went and he picked 2 mango fruits from the tree. And you have to understand that mango fruits are very unique, because the juicier the mango fruit, the branches of the mango trees, they become lower and lower and lower. They almost touch the ground. That's how you know a juicy mango tree and the most juiciest fruits. That's how you pick them, not the one at the top. You go to the one at the bottom, because mango becomes very juicy and very sweet. Then he personally washed those 2 mangoes and offered it to Krishna, because everything has to be offered. What did we say? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because he didn't offer. So here Mahaprabhu is teaching, even when you pick fruits from the trees, you must offer it. You don't have to repeat, but you can. Rakta Pitta Varna Nahi Asti Valkal Ek Janero Pet Bhare Khailo Ek Phal. That means the fruits were all red and yellow, with no seed inside and no skin outside. Eating one fruit would immediately fill a man's belly. So for those of you who have seen mangoes, you know they're not painted. There's no synthetic colors. Mother Nature decorates this fruit with these two beautiful colors. And and this mango that Mahaprabhu planted was so unique that it didn't have a peel. Normally all fruits have a peel to protect it from bugs and other insects, and to hold the fruit, the juice, the nectar inside. But this fruit had no skin and had no seed. Very unique. That's why we have seen billions of mangoes being consumed in the world, but this mango is very unique. So this is why I'm telling you the story of this mango. Dekhiya santushto hela sachiranandan Sabake khawaila age kariya bhakhan. Seeing the quality of the mangoes, the Lord was greatly satisfied. And thus, after eating first, he fed all the other devotees. Even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to taste the mango. So delicious is this mango. Asti val khala nahi amrita rashamay ek phala khaile rase udara pura. The fruits had no seeds or skin. They were full of nectarian juice and were so sweet that a man would fully be satisfied just eating one mango. Emata pratidina phale baramas Vaishnava kahena phala prabhura ullas. In this way, the fruits grew on the tree every day throughout the 12 months of the year, and the Vaishnavas used to eat them to the Lord's greatest satisfaction. I'll just read the story and then I'll tell you more details. Ishav lila kare sachiranandan Anna loka nahi jane bina bhaktagan. These are confidential pastimes of the son of Mother Sachi. Other than devotees, no one knows of this incident. Prabhupada writes that non-devotees cannot believe this incident. Yet the place where the tree grew still exists in Mayapur. It is called Amghata. On the way from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, you go to Krishna Nagar. 2 stops on a bus, you'll arrive at this place where this tree still exists. It's called Amghata station. Eimata Baramas Kirtana Avashane Amra Mahutsava Prabhu Kore Dine Dine. In this way, the Lord performed Sankirtan every day, and at the end of Sankirtan, there was a mango eating festival. Every day, for how many months? 12 months. Can you imagine eating mango for 12 months, every day mango feast? This is what was happening. It's fascinating. Kirtana karite Prabhu, I love Meghagan. Apane chai kaila megha nivaram. Once, this is another story, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing Sankirtan. Clouds assembled in the sky, and the Lord, by His own will, immediately stopped from pouring rain. So I want to tell you why this story is so unique and is so difficult to believe. And the real rus, the real nectar of this story, I want to reveal to you. Because all the sages talking about this one little incident that he enacted, one little enactment of mysticism, completely bewildered the minds of people and sages. And so they really tried to understand what is really going on. So to understand this, let's first understand what is the nature of a tree. The nature of a tree, it takes heat and it gives you shade. Yes? You don't have to do anything. It takes rain, it takes heat, and it provides you fruits and flowers. The tree provides you everything that you could possibly need for your physical, emotional, and spiritual sustenance. Every lesson you need to learn in order to advance in spiritual life, you can learn from a tree. And therefore this tree is used as a metaphor in every one of the ancient yogic scriptures. And even this bhakti that we practice, bhakti means the emotion of transcendental, pure, unconditional love that we practice every single day. It is considered to be a tree, that's why it's called bhakti vriksha. So the nature of this tree is to just give. It takes something so unpleasant and gives you something so pleasant. And so this is a very unique quality of a devotee. It can withstand heat and all tortures and abuse. No matter what you throw at this mango tree, how you torture it, the mango tree will always give you juicy, delicious, seedless, skinless mango. Because the very nature of this mango tree is to serve. So this is a very important part to understand why we're celebrating this mango. So the three principles of this mango. One is, it is seedless. What does it mean? What does it mean that this mango is seedless? Seedless means it is completely pure. There is nothing that is taking this, it is absolute solid mango juice. No skin, you have to make no effort. And seed generally means that there is something else that comes afterwards. There is an identity of the ego that we have. So this mango that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu planted, it represents prema bhakti, pure bhakti. You cannot have any other expectation, there cannot be any contamination. There is no space for anything else other than pure mango. So love cannot be tainted by anything. There can be no space for anything else other than pure love. This is what the seedless mango represents. Anya avilasita sunyam jnana karma jnanavritam anukulyena krishnanaselanam. Nectar devotion gives a very long, beautiful explanation to this verse. And the Acharyas spent a lot of fuel, a lot of time understanding what is this bhakti. It means it cannot have anything else. So this is what this seedless mango represents. That in our hearts, if we have anything other than pure love, then that is not bhakti. It is something else. That ego identity has to be completely dissolved. There is no room for it. And this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing. By taking this mango represents pure bhakti. There is nothing, it's just pure mango. And what is the other quality of this mango? It is the most sweet, amrita ras. That means bhakti is the sweetest. Love is the most purest, the most sweetest. There is nothing more sweet. So much so, when we study the Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see this verse, Nigama kalpa telur galitam phalam sukhamukha namrita drava samyatam pivata bhagavatam rashamalaya mudaraho rashika bhuvidhavaka. There are people who are simply trying to find this tasty mango. And Srimad Bhagavatam is that mango that you find in Krishna in other Vedic texts. Here we see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. And this mango becomes even more sweet. Why? Because Sukhamukha. Because Sukadeva Goswami, in the form of a parrot, is eating this fruit. For those of you who may not know, mango fruit is very, very sweet when it ripens on the tree. And especially this mango, Mahaprabhu has personally planted. It's the sweetness of the topmost mellows of spiritual emotions is infused in this fruit. So when this fruit is eaten by Sukadeva Goswami, who is the parrot, then that mango becomes even more juicy, even more sweet. When I grew up in Mayapur, in the ashram that I grew up when I was 5 years old, we were quite notorious for stealing fruits. Because we had to climb trees, we had to pretend like we were monkeys, and we had to steal fruits. So we used to steal bananas, guavas, dates, chicus, and papayas, and whatever fruit trees were planted, they had our fingerprints all over it. And I remember the first time we were stealing mangoes on top of the tree, and on the top of the tree we noticed there's 2 mangoes. They were half eaten. And we were thinking that how is it possible that someone climbed up to the top of the tree to eat these 2 mangoes? And they're only half eaten. And they didn't even break it from the stem to eat this mango. They must have been very lazy, or there must have been some prank that they were playing on each other. But I thought, because when the mango when you take the peel off, it's really beautiful looking. It looks like the moonrise or the sunrise. More than the sunrise, the moonrise actually is the sunrise or the sunset. Very beautiful orangish reddish color. So I was very tempted. So I picked that mango and I started to eat it on the tree. Of course, I also didn't offer it. I was young. So, and I realized this mango is so tasty. I just sat on the tree and we both just ate this mango, 2 mangoes. And then we kept stealing other mangoes, but none of the other mangoes had any sweetness close to this mango. And that's why this verse, Srimad Bhagavatam, verse number 3, actually made sense to me. It wasn't a theory. It was actually an experienced, realized truth. That when the fruit is touched by a parrot, Sukadeva Goswami, then this fruit becomes even more delicious. So, that is the second quality of this mango fruit that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked. First is seedless, and then full of ras, means completely pure, sweet nectar. There's nothing else. And then the third is that if you just ate 1 mango, you were full. 1 mango made you full. How is that possible? Now, this is not my first mango festival that I have had. When I grew up, we used to have mango festival almost every day. And an average, one of my teachers from England, he ate 43 mangoes. So, and he still had room for more. So that means this mango, as Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, 1 mango was so filling, you're completely satisfied. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in Amrit Pravaha Rahasya, he actually explains about this topic very nicely. This mango was so filling because it had the love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was infused in this mango, was transferred into this mango. So this mango was pure love. And when anybody ate this mango, their whole existence was fully satisfied. We have to realize there's many different kinds of hunger. There's a hunger of the body, there's a hunger of the mind, the hunger of the senses, and there's the hunger of the intellect. And then there's the hunger of the soul, hunger of the heart. When our mind is hungry, then we go on social media. When your tongue is hungry, then we go to a restaurant. When your ears are hungry, you find nice, spring music to listen to romantic music. So you satiate all these hungers in various different ways by exposing it to the objects of the senses, where the desires are experienced. So Mahaprabhu knew the heart of all the devotees who were there. What they were seeking is pure Krishna prema. And when they ate those mangoes, individually served by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their very existence were completely satisfied. When your heart is full, when the heart is happy, then the mental hunger automatically dissipates. The hunger of the senses, they all dry up. The hunger of the intellect becomes completely useless. But the hunger of the heart has to be met. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing that this one mango fruit has three unique qualities. And that quality is that it is completely infused with the power of pure love. And this is what this mango, that just one mango is filling, because it actually fulfills and nourishes the very need of the soul. So this is the story of the mango of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now there is so many acharyas have already commented on this mango also. But I want to just, because our time is up, I want to give you 3 takeaways, something for you to think about. The first takeaway is what seeds. See, Mahaprabhu planted a seed and you got this beautiful, delicious mango where it provides, what was the first thing? It is seedless, that means completely pure. Next, it's the sweetest. That doesn't give you diabetes and any kind of physical sickness, but it cures the disease of material life. And the third principle is fulfilling. Nothing in this world can fulfill you unless your heart is fulfilled. Unless and until the heart is fulfilled, we will constantly be seeking. And so the first question is, what seeds are we planting in our hearts? What seeds are we planting in our heart every single day? Because the seed that you plant in your heart, that seed will provide that particular food. For example, if you're consuming hate, anger, and you're holding it in your heart, what fruits will it bear? Whatever seed you plant in your heart, that is the exact fruit that you will get. So the sages are saying this is something for you to consider. Please, the 3 takeaways is, what seed am I planting in my heart? Because whatever seed you plant, that fruit you will get. And everyone will be able to relish that fruit. We know, for example, we go to Vrindavan and all these holy places. We go to meet saints and sages. Why? Because they have planted this mango tree that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu planted. They took those seedlings from that mango tree and planted in their hearts. And we are chasing all over the world to find those sages so we can have that mango. So we have to ask ourselves this question. And the second point is, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't eat all the mangoes by himself. He shared this sweet, delicious mango with each and every one. What does that mean? That means the love that we have in our heart, it is not meant for you. It is meant to be shared. If you do not share, that is the definition of selfishness. That is the definition of greed. Srila Prabhupada, if you read his pranam mantra, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. Very unique. Paschatya Deshatari. The fruit that was harvested in the heart of Srila Prabhupada is Prema Bhakti. It is this mango fruit. And this mango fruit that he harvested in Vrindavan, he came to the Western world to distribute it. This pure love is what he came to distribute. What is that a sign of? He is following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That you should not eat it alone. You must share this spiritual love with others. So lesson number 2. Seedless. Because the mango is seedless. That means that we have to try to see what seeds that we have already planted in our hearts, to remove that seed, and how to plant the pure seed of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mango that he planted in our hearts. He explains in Sikshashtakam, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, that the Supreme Lord, he explains the desire for wealth, fame, name, adoration. This cannot go with this pure love. There is no, you can't pack them together. They don't fit. So therefore, we can take time to understand that what is it that is impeding the growth of this mango tree in our heart. So these are the 3 thoughts that I have for all of you. And for those of you who haven't been to Amghata, where this mango tree was planted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is still there. You can come with me to Mayapur. I can take you to this place and you can see it. Or you can go with any of the Dhamvasis, or you can go yourself. And you can see that beautiful place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the whole world this transcendental, mystical miracle of Krishna Prema in the form of an actual tree. There are many, many stories of mangoes, connected to mangoes, written by so many sages. Krishna had many, many stories with Balaram and the cowherd boys running into Vrindavan in the mango forests. Many beautiful stories are there. but my time is over, so if anybody has any thoughts or any comments, or any questions, otherwise we'll go to the next part. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll do some more kirtan. How many thousand mangoes do we have? 3,000. How much exactly?
Look like 3,000.
Huh?
3,000.
So they stopped counting. So 3,000 mangoes are offered to their lordships.
How many more? How many more?
So we're going to turn around, we're going to face their lordships, and we'll do some more kirtan. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Gita. Hare Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Shri Sanatan Bhakta Guna. Shiva Gopala Bhakta Bhakta Guna. Jai Gosai Jai Charanamanda. Jai Gosai Jai Charanamanda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prashanam.
Everybody sit down.
Is anyone here from that family? Please come.
Uncle, come here.
They're sponsoring the feast today because they're seeking the blessings and the prayers from all of you for their father who is going through some physical health challenges. So I'm going to request Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I want you to please raise your hand. We're going to pray for his father together. Please raise both your hands. Face their lordships. Shri Gaurnitai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Radha Madan Mohan. Together. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Now I'd like to request Lokesh and Kalyan family. Prabhu, are you able to come? She'll represent the family. So they're sponsoring the Sunday feast in memory of his father, who passed away some time ago. And they want the blessings and the prayers of all the devotees. As we know, when we leave this body, then nothing is more powerful than the prayers of the devotees to help them carry on through the journey all the way to Krishna. So the soul is not stuck in some other planets. So the whole family. Oh, Mataji, please pause. We'll announce. We forgot. I'm getting the details. So there is a whole group of 5 of them passed away in an accident. Car accident? Car accident. Do we have any dates recently? 27th December 2024. 23. I'm getting briefed up notes every moment. Thank you. Please write this down next time. So we have Srinath Satyam. Mataji, please wait. He was deceased on this accident. Venkataramana, Navina Ganga. Srinath is the father, Venkataramana is the mother, Navina Ganga is the wife, Kritik Sri Narayan, son, Nishita Raman, the daughter. And so, all these 5 souls left this world at one time, 2023. So let us pray for Lokesh Prabhu's family and Mataji. So if we can all please raise our hands for these departed souls, that they continue their journey onto the lotus feet of Krishna. Together, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji on the wheelchair is the lone survivor, to stand on alone. Testament to Krishna's will. Thank you, Lokesh Prabhu. So, just 2 brief announcements. We have Dinabandhu Prabhu. He is a Vrajavasi, born in the United States but living in Vrindavan for decades. He'll be visiting Atlanta. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he'll be in town for 6 days. And he has some very beautiful stories from Braj. So there will be a program with all his details shared with all of you in the WhatsApp group. So please make time to associate with Vrajavasis. Vrajavasi means someone who resides in Vrindavan, or who carries Vrindavan in their heart. Srila Prabhupada was a Vrajavasi. And then the second announcement I have is that Janmashtami is coming up very soon. Who knows the date of Janmashtami? Only the children know the Janmashtami. So the 16th of August, what day is it? What day is it? So Krishna is very, very fortunate to have all of your presence. And He made sure to come on a Saturday so that you can all be free from work and come and spend time with Him. So Janmashtami celebration is the biggest celebration in the 14 planetary systems. There's uncountable numbers of souls in all the planets that will be celebrating Sri Krishna Janmashtami. And on the earthly planet there will be over 1 billion people celebrating Sri Krishna Janmashtami. And Iskcon Atlanta will be celebrating 50th anniversary of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. So, you have to keep one thing in mind. Iskcon Atlanta Temple is the first Hindu temple in the state of Georgia. And the only Krishna temple in the state of Georgia, because there are many temples. You can find everybody in those temples. In this temple you will find Krishna. So this Janmashtami celebration is actually been quite epic, because I have observed over the years, no matter who they are, where they are, if they're in the state of Georgia, or in South Carolina, even Alabama, they all come for Janmashtami celebrations here. And it's because Krishna is awakened here. He is being worshipped all day, every day. And He is here, and you can feel His presence. And so Janmashtami celebration here is no comparison, because there's so much heart. So I request you all to please join us for Janmashtami. Put it on your Facebook page and your Instagram, whatever social media platforms you have. There is no better time to use all of these platforms than now to promote Sri Krishna Janmashtami in Iskcon Atlanta. You can tag the Instagram, Facebook page and just spread the word. Because there will be ecstatic kirtans, free feast all throughout the day. There will be kirtan going on all throughout the day, and you can even come here and sing throughout the day. And there is absolutely no discrimination whatsoever. You're old, young, you can't sing, you cannot sing. Krishna has given you the most powerful instrument, your vocal cords. So you can just come here and sing to Krishna. The mic will be on. You can come and you can read, you can chant, you can do service. So Janmashtami celebration is going to be an all-day affair starting at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Who has attended Mangal Arati? Raise your hand if you have attended Mangal Arati. Raise your hand if you have never attended Mangal Arati. Raise your hand if you're shy to admit that you've never attended Mangal Arati. There are many, many aratis. Many aratis. One arati is the most auspicious. It's called a Mangal Arati. That's why it's called Mangal. Because Mangal Dev personified comes to attend the arati. And Krishna is showering Mangal Devata with all his benedictions. That is one reason it's called Mangal Arati. So if you want auspiciousness in your life, you have to come for, can you all say it? Mangal Arati. And Mangal Arati begins at Brahma Muhurta, 4:30 a.m. in the morning. At the beginning of Brahma Muhurta is when Mangal Arati begins. When Brahma Muhurta is over, Mangal Arati is also over. And then you can go home and take a nap. So the interesting thing about Mangal Arati, you will notice, every year this temple room becomes more and more packed, because the potency of Mangal Arati is experienced. If you come once a year, the energy of Mangal Arati will carry you for the whole year. Mangal Bhagavan will come and reside in your house. And this is the secret. So please come at 4:30 a.m. for Mangal Arati, and there will be many other Aratis after that. You can stick around, and then there will be japa meditation. The program starts in the evening with the stage programs. There will be dress competition, drama, bhajans, kirtans, all on the stage. And at 10 p.m. we have Krishna Janmastami Abhishek. The Kalash is here yet? They're coming. So every year we get kalashes. This beautiful kalash you all know. Some people call it lota, but it's not lota. It's beautiful decorated silver gold kalashes. We put Panchamrita Abhishek in there and you get to personally bathe Krishna. We get 108 of those kalashes. You get to come with your whole family dressed for Janmastami to celebrate Krishna's appearance. Not just the day, Krishna's appearance in your family and in your hearts. And this is what this Janmastami means. And you get to personally invite Krishna into your heart by bathing him with Panchamrita. So this is available for everyone. And also, throughout the day, if you're busy for some reason, some excuses the mind will provide you, don't worry. You don't have to work hard for it. You can come throughout the day, there will be aratis being offered. Average in a day, there will be around 1,500 to 2,000 people that will come and offer aratis. So please come, participate and offer arati to Krishna, eat prasadam. And at 10 p.m. is the Abhishek, and then at midnight, here in the temple room, we have the big arati, where we'll do ecstatic kirtan, and Krishna will appear in front of all of you, and he will jump into your hearts. So just be ready with your open heart to capture him and hold him in your heart space. So this is what Janmastami celebration looks like. After the midnight arati, there will be a massive feast where everyone is fed with nice prasadam. Big pieces of paneer everywhere in every recipe, practically speaking. So this is what happens. Shri Krishna Janmastami Maha Mahotsav ki Jai. So for Janmastami Abhishek, there is a $351 donation that helps to take care of Krishna's bills for the next few months. And there's 108. I think we are almost halfway through, close to maybe. But please come and get your kalash that you can take home with you, filled with Panchamrita nectar. You share it with the family and keep it as a token of observation every single day that this is your relationship with Krishna every single day when you live it in your altar, that you are there for Janmastami celebrating his appearance into your heart. So this is Sri Krishna Janmastami Abhishek, and then at midnight also there will be few arati slots available. Front row is $1,500, and then the middle, and then there's a back row, 3 rows. So people want to have that prime spot with Krishna, so you can come. You can give Krishna your token of appreciation, and please come and see Shweta Shri Prabhu about that. So far for Janmastami donations, we have an anonymous donor who came and pledged $5,001. So let's give him a big Haribol. Please let us appreciate this person.
Haribol!
Don't do a Haribol from your mind, do a Haribol from your heart. Raise your arms. And then we have Ramesh Patel, $2,500. Little louder. And then we have Anant Dalvi family, $1,500 for the night dress. Let's do it 3 times. Haribo! Haribo! Krishna Sharanam Prabhu, $1,500. Haribo! 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 Rajesh Krishnan, $900 for the Didi garlands. Haribo! Haribo! This Haribo will save you. So keep chanting Haribo. Sujata Suresh, $351 for Abhishek. Kunal Prabhu and family. Geeta Mataji and family. People are hungry or what? Put some life into it. Uttama Radhika Mataji. Hari! Okay, let's see. We have Kalyan Mergu. Kalyan Mergu for Abhishek. Haribo! 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 Namita Khanna. Haribo! 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 Raju and family. Haribo! Where is Raju? He's not here. His wife is here, his family are here, his friends and family are here. Prabhus, please stand up. Khare ho jaiye na. They are very fascinating. They come from this Punjab, a unique village where they do a lot of seva. And they have to feed people. And they have to feed them prasadam. Janmashtami, they were feeding everybody so much prasadam, so much paneer. Everybody was paneered out. There was paneer everywhere. Fantastic. And see this crew right here, they will come for Janmashtami and they will cook a feast from morning till midnight. They come to the crew of 14, 15, 20 Punjabis. They all just come there and they start cooking and you just keep eating prasad. So let's give it up for Raju and family and friends. So, thank you very much. Please come and have darshan of their lordships. And don't forget, you can come and take mangoes. Even if you didn't bring any mangoes, you can take as many mangoes as you can. Ladies on the right hand of the side and men to the left. And please stand up so it's easier so that you're not...
Everyone can pull it up on their phone if they would like to follow. And Radha Krishna Pranamora Yogala Kishora
Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram,